Alright guys, today we are going to talk about how to build HEIMERDINGER. HEIMERDINGER has been recently reworked and you guys have been asking me to make a new build guide, so I am here to deliver. So starting at level 1 guys, you're going to build a Doran's ring. Nothing has changed there, you're still going to build a Doran's ring just like you did before HEIMERDINGER was reworked. It is an awesome item to have at your core. It'll even carry you from level 1 right up until mid game. Then you're going to sell late game, obviously, to get that sweet ass gold for your Void or your Abaddons or whatever you want to sink it into. But the Doran's ring sustain is the main reason you get it. The fact that you can double up in the passive and get 2 of them is absolutely epic. So moving on from level 1 guys, we're going to assume that you've already built 2 Doran's rings, you've got a couple of cookies, and you maybe have your level 1 boots, just your plain old boots. Now you're going to start to prioritize your core item. Your core item guys is what's going to kind of carry you through early and mid game. This is what you're going to work towards for the next say 10 to 15 minutes, and completing this will hopefully give you a good power spike. The 2 items that you're going to choose between will be a Morello's or a Liandry's Torment, or a Morello Nama 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 Nomicon. I personally prefer Liandry's. I think it's an absolute solid item. You get Magic Pen, you get the burn from Liandry's. I like hunting guys. It's a relatively cheap item. You get health, you get AP. I am just an absolute Liandry's fanboy, but you can 100% go Morello's. Morello's is an absolute fantastic item as well guys, because it gives you grievous wounds, it gives you CDR, gives you mana, gives you AP. It's a pretty good solid item. It's a good base to have. It is an absolutely fantastic item, but it just depends what your playstyle kind of focuses around. So if you like to kind of keep landing skill shots and you're maybe mana heavy, then go Morello's. If you're quite on key with your skill shots and you like playing a lot more aggressive, then Liandry's could be the way forward. And obviously Liandry's has that burn, so if you're against a hefty amount of tanks, then Liandry's is the way forward. But if you're against say a Vlad or a Swain, then Morello's could prioritize over Liandry's. But you could in turn get Liandry's then Morello's if you feel that is the preferred build path for you. So now you've built your core item, whether it be Morello's or Liandry's, you're probably asking yourself, well, what do I build now? What the hell do I build now? I've got a Liandry's, I've got 2 Doran's rings and a set of boots. What do I do now? And my answer is, I don't know. I actually don't know. The reason being is because I have no idea who you are against. I have no idea who you're against or what they're building. And this is why I try and get into your heads guys, that no build is linear. You don't build the same build every single game. It's all situational. Everything in League of Legends is situational. So for example, if you are against a very very strong AP mid like Syndra or Orianna or LeBlanc, and they're building ridiculously AP heavy and they have the ability to pretty much one hit you, then building a Banshees is actually a pretty good call right now. The new Banshees is pretty damn epic, and it actually ties into an AP build the way that they've changed the build path. So if I was against something like that, as soon as I finish my Liandry's, I would probably prioritize a Banshee's Veil over a Zhonya's. Or for example guys, on the other hand, they could buy relatively defensively. They could be buying a Banshees, they could be rushing a Banshees, getting a Riley's, getting an Abyssal, and getting a lot of MR. Say your top laner's AP heavy, your AP heavy, and your jungler's AP heavy. Then in turn, you are going to get a Void Staff to just nuke down past that magic resistance. A Void Staff with a Liandry's would be your best bet here. And obviously guys, if they're full AD, for example Talon, Zed, Yaz, you're going to prioritize a Zhonya because you're going to get armor from it, and whenever you turn golden, it's going to negate their ultimates and so on. So that's kind of a no-brainer. You'll get a Zhonya against an AD oriented champ. With HEIMERDINGER being reworked guys, his passive has been completely changed to give him 20% extra movement speed. This movement speed allows us to add new and exciting things into our old bland build. So with this in mind, you could in turn next go a Luden's Echo. A Luden's Echo is pretty damn fun because it's going to give you movement speed and it's going to give you a hefty amount of AP, as well as obviously the passive that comes from Luden's Echo. Or you could go Riley's, which is probably the safer bet, and Riley's in turn is going to slow those champions, especially melee champions, whenever they're trying to chase you. And as long as you're within range of your turrets, you're more than likely going to outrun them whenever you're being ganked or in team fights. And you can have a bit of fun with this guys. With the extra movement speed, you can build Boots of Swiftness instead of your normal Magic Pen boots. But again, it's situational. Sometimes magic pen boots are kind of the way forward, but it's all about having fun. So if you want to kind of go the movement speed route, you know, with O'Reilly's and Eludens, then you can build your boots of swiftness. And of course, guys, there's going to be builds that you prefer to others. There's going to be builds that you go more often than other builds. And I keep saying to you that build paths aren't linear and that they are all situational. But realistically, there is going to be a kind of concrete core that you're going to follow every single time. Pretty much. Within reason. Within reason. You're going to be against certain champions a lot more than others, which in turn is going to make you build that same build maybe a lot more than another build. Hopefully I'm not confusing you too much. But the build that I would probably like to use in most games would be a Leandry's with a Void. Those are my kind of, that's my go-to. That's my favorite two items. My kind of two things that I would rush every single game. And then after that is whenever I would usually get my defensive item. My Banshees or my Zonya, depending if I'm against a Zed or a Syndra, a Yaz or a LeBlanc. That is kind of what I base my defensive item off. But depending on how good the Zed is or how good the Syndra is, you know, you can prioritize that as your second item. Sometimes it's good to get an early Zonya and so on. After that, I would probably get a Riley's or a Ludens. And as well, you know, within there, I have my Magic Pen boots. I do go Magic Pen boots more than boots of swiftness, but it is 100% viable. Trust me, I've played a good few Diamond 4, Diamond 3 games with boots of swiftness, and it has been pretty successful. But that is kind of where it tapers off. Most games end whenever you get your first 3 items or your first 4 items. If I was to get another item, I'd probably throw in a Rabadons. I would 100% throw in a Rabadons in there. But it's a very, very expensive item, hard to get, and this usually only happens whenever games are like an hour long or 50 minutes long. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the new Heimerdinger rework. It was a big change, but hopefully everyone is adapting to it quite well. I'll leave you guys with a little bit of an infograph showing the breakdown of my build. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, please slap a like on it below. It really helps me out. And again, if you have any questions, comment below. I'm usually quite proactive at answering them. Until next time, bros, take it easy, peace out, and good luck on the Rift.
Yeah, I can never ever find the right words, and there's